Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Archana Sharma and today we'll be learning something new. So today I thought you of explaining trigonometry. So generally people find trigonometry very tough topic, but it isn't. So first we should know why do we need to learn this trigonometry. So generally friends, like I'll give examples and try to explain you why do we need to learn this trigonometry. So electrical poles are present everywhere. They are usually erected by some using a metal like wires, like something. This is an electrical pole you will be seeing in your area or somewhere else. So suppose this is an electrical pole. So it's something like this. This is a rough figure friends, don't mind it. So you will be having something like wires here, and what do you see? You always observe a metal wire which is like situated onto the ground from the pole. So this is something like this. If this is ground, you will be finding a wire like this which is given a inclination from the electrical pole. So the pole, the wire and ground form a triangle. So you can see that this is a triangle, see, like this part, starting this and this and this. This gives us a triangle. So this is having some angle here, like call this as theta. So how much at how much angle this wire should be from the pole. So this is decided based on some conditions, like I don't know properly why do they do it there, but the thing is to keep this pole erected, this wire is mostly used. So what if the length of that wire decreases? What will be the shape of the triangle? What will be the angle of the wire with the ground? So this theta value keeps on changing if we change the inclination. Like suppose if the wire is less in like length or greater in length, the angle might be changing. So this is one example where we can see trigonometry in a day-to-day life. Something different is, suppose generally you see painting in your houses. So suppose this is the wall which is to be painted. This thing is the wall which is to be painted. So if a person is here, and generally this person uses a ladder to paint this wall. So like if this is the ground level and this is the wall he needs to paint, what he will be doing, he will be climbing this wall and painting it. So now suppose the wall's length is very high, suppose I say this length. So whenever he wants to paint this part, he should change the angle of the ladder so that he could reach this part to paint. So here we can use this, like basically they don't do this like finding angles and all, they have an estimation where does it go, but this is the angle which the ladder forms along with the ground, so that he can paint at each and every portion of the wall. So here is the other example where you can be using this trigonometry. And one more basic example is in your school friends, like all of us have been to school, so we will be observing this like this is the ladder game where you will be having some stairs, you will be climbing this, and you will be having some bottom like this. Here you will be sliding, and here this will be touching the ground, and here you will be having some, this is the base of the ground. So this is the height of this, and you will be climbing here and just laying down there. So in the playground children generally slide, and so this is situated at defined angles. So like this is the defined angle where we have a bend at the bottom. So what if the slider changes the angle? What will happen if this angle is changed? Do children will be able to play this game as it is even if the angle is changed or not? So these are the basic examples where we can see the trigonometry's application in day-to-day life. So these are the examples geometrically showing the application part of triangles in our daily life. We can measure the height, distances and slopes by using the properties of these triangles. These type of problems are a part of trigonometry, which is a branch of mathematics. So let's see the example of whitewashing wall. Like I said you that if a person wants to paint the wall, how will be the angle, and let's see it with a proper example. So this is a ground, this is ground. So here is some wall, this is my wall, and now I have a ladder here. Suppose this is my ladder. Okay, so now I would like to name this as ABC, the 3 points as ABC. We denote the foot of the ladder by A. So this is the point A. This is the foot of the ladder. So I am taking this as point A, and at the top of it, it could be C. So this is the point C, and B is the point where there is a joining of the height of the wall and the ground. So this is the point B. So I am denoting these 3 points. Therefore, this is a triangle ABC. So ABC is a triangle. You can see from this figure. So it is a let's say it's a right angle triangle at B. So this angle is 90 degrees. It's a right angle triangle at angle B, and the angle between ladder and the base is to be like assume it as theta. So this part is theta. This theta, this is 90 degrees, and ABC is a triangle. If the person wants to whitewash at the higher point on the wall, what happens to the angle made by the ladder with the ground? So if suppose now this particular ladder makes him only paint the wall till this point. What if he wants to paint the wall like at this point or something else? So now you need to change this angle. So suppose I want to reach here, I will be my ladder should be at this angle. So I will be keeping ladder here. So this is my ladder now. I will color this. So this part is my ladder. Now the angle is different. See, this is some other angle alpha. I call this as alpha. So now my angle is changed from theta to alpha. So you can see that whenever I want to paint different portions of the wall, I need to change the ladder's angle. So what will be the change in the distance AB? Now you can clearly see that before this point was A. I call this point as A dash because my ladder is changed. So the distance of A and B is not similar to distance of A dash and B. A dash and B are very nearer, so this distance will be very closer when compared to the distance AB. Now suppose if we see that the person wants to paint the lower part of the wall. So what happens to the angle made by the ladder with the ground, and what will be change in the distance AB? Now if he wants to paint this part, like suppose assume that his hand reaches only till this end. Now he wants to paint this part. So again he need to keep the ladder in this way, but this should be balancing. So always the thing is that as the properties of triangle says, whenever you change the angles, the distance between 2 points keep on changing. Like this is my triangle, this was my triangle in the previous case. This was A where my ladder started, B and C. This was 90 degrees and this was theta. This value and even this distance will be keeping on change as we move the ladder from one place to another. So this is a general example of using trigonometry. So what we can conclude is, if the theta is increased, now suppose I increase my angle, the height also increases and the base will be decreasing. So whenever I increase the theta, my height is increasing and base is decreasing, so that the person can reach the higher points of the wall. But when the theta is decreased, the height is also decreased and base will be increasing. So the person can paint the lower parts of the wall. So this is a statement which we can conclude from this example. So this is my right angle triangle. At angle B, we have a right angle triangle. This angle is 90 degrees. I have 3 points A, B and C. So you can see that AC is the longest side. In this is triangle C, A and B. So this is my triangle CAB. Here the longest side is AC, so we call this side as hypotenuse. So this is nothing but naming of our triangles. Here we observe the position of side BC with respect to angle A. It is opposite to angle A and we call it as opposite side of the angle A. So this is the opposite side of angle A. Opposite side of, I represent angle like this, and this is A. And the remaining side AB is called as adjacent side of A. So this is adjacent side of A. So these are the namings. The highest, like the longest side is given name as hypotenuse, and the side opposite to angle A is this side, so we call this as opposite side of angle A, and the other side remaining is called as the adjacent side of angle A. So after naming these three sides, now we can give three formulas, like you have heard of sine, cos and tan. So these are the three important formulas which we will be using throughout the trigonometry. So coming to the formula of sine theta, like sine of some, here I will be finding sine A. So sine A is nothing but the opposite length of the opposite side of the angle A by length of the hypotenuse. So opposite side, it's a length, friends, actually opposite side by hypotenuse. So this is the sine of A, and the opposite side is BC. So BC by the hypotenuse is nothing but AC. So from here you can conclude this. So whenever you want to find sine of some angle, just take that point, see the opposite side and write it here on the numerator, and whichever is having the longest length is taken as the denominator. Cos is also very easy. Cos of A is nothing but length of adjacent side by hypotenuse. So opposite by hypotenuse gives you a sine value, and adjacent by hypotenuse will be giving a cos value. Adjacent side by hypotenuse. So using sine and cos, you can find one more value, that is tan theta, or I can call it as tan A, which could be simply nothing but it's actually sine A by cos A. Tan A is nothing but sine A by cos A. Always remember that these two angles should be same. You can't write sine A by cos B or something else. So to find tan A, we need to have sine A by cos A. What is sine A? Opposite by hypotenuse. I am writing in shortcut. And what is cos A? Adjacent by hypotenuse. So simply you can cancel this hypotenuse in the denominators of both of these, and you will be left up with opposite by adjacent. So this is the formula for tan A. So whenever you need to find the sine A's value, just check the length of the opposite side and divide it with the hypotenuse. You will be getting the sine value of that angle. If you want to find the cos value of some angle, just see the adjacent side, like the side beside the angle. Simply if you find hypotenuse and opposite side in the triangle, the leftover side is basically the adjacent side. So whenever you divide it with the length of the hypotenuse, you will be finding the cos value. And if you have sine and cos values, simply divide both of these values, you will be landing at a tan value. Thank you guys. So that's it for today's video. I hope you understood these concepts very well. In my next video, we'll be continuing with how to find the value of sine, cos and tan. Suppose if you are given tan value, how can you find the sine and cos values? And suppose if you are given sine and cos value, how will be finding the tan value? Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Share with your friends and family. I hope you like this video, and do follow me for regular updates. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Have a nice day.